as well as a construction exit here shown on the plan in red to access this area. There is a fence that runs around the property currently, but there is potential for access right there to get into the site. It would be a crushed stone entrance to minimize any tracking on or off the site, and that'd be utilized to get into this area. Then the final proposed activity, what we're proposing to, mitigate some impacts and just provide an overall betterment to the site. ECR has provided an extensive mitigation plan that essentially builds out this natural buffer around the wetland and the stream. It's a total of 6,500 square feet that encompasses what's shown here in green around that wetland area, and it'll be a natural buffer to that wetland. It'll remain as a no-touch area. There's a lot of plant stock obviously on site that the applicant's able to use, including some large trees he's willing to relocate to this mitigation area, and some large mature shrubs. Will be supplemented with all native plantings and native seed mix. So I think that basically summarizes where we're at with this application. As I mentioned, it is, includes some after the fact permitting, some proposed permitting, the extensive mitigation. And at this time, we'd happy to entertain any questions that the commission may have.
The proposed mitigation area, those plants and trees are gonna stay there permanently, right?
That's correct. That'll essentially act as a no-touch buffer zone to the wetland and stream, and the applicant's been made aware of that, and he's certainly understanding of that. So he's more than happy to comply with that.
So what'd you say about this 6,000 square feet, you said mitigation area?
It totals 6,500 square feet, correct.
And the area for the livestock area down that way, that whole area, about how many square feet is that?
I don't have a square footage for you on that number, or on that area. It's, I'll share that screen again. It is, that's all currently, that's this area here, that's all wood chipped and whatnot and previously occupied. So we're not proposing to remove any vegetation in that area, just revamping it.
And then putting two buildings up.
It's more like a small shed. The animals I'm gonna have there is probably like 2 mini cows and some goats.
What size buildings?
12 by 16.
What's the square footage on it then?
Yeah,
For those?
and that's for the 2 stock. So if I have goats, half for the goats, half for the 2 cows.
So what's the total square footage you figure about with the 2 barn areas?
120 plus.
We're showing the barn as 16 by 12, but Lucas could correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Yep, that's correct. So 160, 184 square feet
For both of them?
for that one. And then, are you talking about the greenhouse too?
Well,
Well,
yeah,
oh, yeah,
just,
yeah,
I mean, for everything, for the buildings that you're
The,
putting up.
the greenhouse is a cold frame. It's more for winter storage of plants. Like during the summer, we take out the plastic off.
Okay,
It's just a way to keep the plants alive in the winter.
Yep.
It's not like really a building. It's
Okay.
just
Like a frame?
metal
plastic.
frames with plastic over to keep the plants alive during the winter.
okay.
It's similar to what we have already. We have like I think 5 or 6 small ones.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're 5.
Yeah, 5 small ones.
Yeah.
So we want to add one larger for taller plants.
Anything else?
The mitigation area, what's to keep the public from wandering through that? Are we gonna mark, I'd like to see it marked on the outside as no touch, no walk, or whatever.
Yeah, we can do that. It's a wet area.
Would you do like a picket fence or something?
No, well, not even that,
No.
you could just put the
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 markers.
signs?
Uh-huh.
Fence would be expensive, but
Uh-huh.
I think the markers part along the edge of that would just be sufficient.
Mhm.
Not only for this project, but any future things that may go on there.
The discs that the town typically uses for
Yeah, it's a
At the edge.
PVC pipe.
Yep, with the,
Yeah.
alright.
The pond here, that pond had been used before, that was a man-made pond we used before for irrigation. So I have access to it, like from the left side here. And right now, it's natural, there is like grass that just grew there naturally.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna use the pond for irrigation anymore, we had 2 wells now. But I still want to be able, to see the pond, like, it's not in the plan, but I have like some ducks. If I have a little bit of, an area for my ducks, I want them to, it's,
Well, that's fine.
yeah, it's not something, just the pond, like I respect the river, the creek, since like I remove all the debris that was along the water there, I clean everything up, but I want to make it look like a farm.
Natural.
So,
Yeah.
I want to, it's not like I'm not taking the whole pond for ducks. I just want a little corner, so like my ducks can go swimming.
We normally use just like 2-inch PVC pipes, but if you propose, say, a 4x4 post or something that looks a little more rustic, or even a cedar fence post or something, then we can work with that
Yeah,
too.
even like granite, we can find, I have like.
Medallions are about a
Uh-huh.
4-inch round.
Alright, so he might have some granite posts on
Yeah,
side
or
or something
whatever,
that would look
yeah.
a little nicer.
Yep.
What are they, every 30 feet or so?
30
Roughly
feet?
No,
20? I don't know, a little more.
depending on, I mean,
Angle points, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can work that out on the,
Alright.
with the engineer.
Okay.
Add to the plan.
That's all I had. I see the livestock has a fence. And I guess that you'll have public access for people to go in.
Yeah, that's there is a road
Yeah,
right now
yeah,
that goes over the water to get there,
right.
and that was used before even for trucks because they used to screen loom on that area. So that little road is gonna be open. That's how we're gonna get to the livestock and
Sure.
the garden. Like,
so is like around the livestock area, is that gonna be like a berm around there just so nothing kinda like?
yeah, there'll be because
Yeah,
we're
some-
gonna fence the area. So pretty much like anything to the left, to the right of the fence, nobody's gonna have access to it.
So if it really pours out and rains,
No-
nothing's
no,
gonna
nothing.
wash down and
No.
over.
I'll make sure that
You know,
we create a kind of a fence that holds. If we have to place some boulders inside of the fence,
Okay.
like rocks, we can do that.
If there's any trouble with the storage of manure, he can bring it up to Kaminsky, we'll compost it.
Oh, there you go.
That's all I had.
Cameron, could you please put up the share screen again, please?
Yeah, no problem. Would you like to see the
This,
plan?
Within
Yes.
15 feet of the wetlands.
Could you just clarify for me, the building that's put up in the north section? And
The proposed greenhouse, is that correct? That you're
Yes.
referring to?
so what's that line running through the corner?
The green
Yeah.
line?
Yeah,
That's the 100-foot wetland buffer.
No,
The
that's
green
the
line?
100.
Yes, correct. The 100-foot wetland buffer is shown here in green. This is the 100-foot riverfront in blue. And then the existing conditions below that in the black, which just show the kind of the lanes between the plant stock in that area, the pathways.
so I don't know, do we have a problem with that corner piece?
No.
No, we're okay?
We did ensure that we kept it out of the 50-foot buffer, which is shown down here in green.
Okay,
We were
Any
conscious of
New
that.
construction within
Yeah,
the
this is-
50 might come into question,
all
but it's
kind of-
not, it's outside, so.
And if I'm right, this is a coal frame structure, so it has no real foundation.
There's no
So
foundation.
there's
It's
really
a little bit- it's been
nothing
here too, so it's
that's
not-
being
Yeah,
dug
no.
into the ground,
okay,
just pipes that are pounded
Yeah,
in
it-
to use as anchors.
all right, thank you.
Yeah, nothing permanent. Okay, and Tim, you got anything or?
No, the
John?
plan looked good to me, the replication material, good choice. With any luck, you'll be able to use that as a selling point, so you can sell out of, hey, this is what it looks like kind of thing. And
When they're talking about the river, are they talking about the vernal stream that comes through our property, through Kaminsky property?
the one that comes from the pond down through,
We have one that comes through our triangle that goes up to 90 feet from the road, that comes into the little pond on our property, which is the next triangle over, which is right next to where he's gonna put the livestock. I don't know if that, you're considering that the river.
Yeah, it runs right
Yeah,
next to the
yeah,
pond.
that's-
Yeah,
a lot.
it's in the next property over,
Yep.
It goes right
which he
there.
may end up owning also. But that could be for bog plants. Cause that's all wetlands.
Gotta make sure you gotta stay away from that though.
Okay, I promise.
So
Well,
I,
that's beautiful, because we dredged it. We took all the fallen trees and leaves out of it, so that the deer would stop raiding my garden and would have a place to drink.
What did you,
It had so much junk that had fallen
Right,
into it.
over the,
So we took the backhoe, we took all the trash out
when
of
did you
it.
do this?
Thank you.
We talked to the conservation department and asked their permission before we did it. It was at least 6 years ago.
Okay.
And they told us we could take anything that fell into it, leaves, branches and stuff out. We just couldn't put anything in. So we took the leaves and branches out, but we didn't put any dirt in, which was good because then the deer had somewhere to drink, so the hunters could find them, so the deer would stay out of my garden.
So everything's all cleaned up now?
Huh?
Everything's all cleaned up now, right?
It's beautiful
Okay,
for them.
perfect,
It's all
so-
grown in. It's tons of pollywogs
Any other major
and
work like
stuff.
that, make sure you just come in front of us first.
We did come and ask.
No,
if
I
we
know,
needed
but
it.
further on.
But
further
we
on.
didn't do anything else.
I'm not saying you
We just
did.
took the junk out.
No, I understand.
But what it didn't do is decrease the deer because they're too smart for the hunters.
Mhm.
just gave them more area to get more water.
It gave them, well, it kept them out of the garden some, but not out of my backyard. But it just was, it made it look nicer. It got the branches out of the way.
Mhm.
It's pretty because there's a stone wall there with an opening in it, so if you get down there in spring, the water pours through. When they built that stone wall, they put a flat rock. So if you get down there in the spring, the water pours through the stone wall over the rock. It's just real pretty.
Looks good.
I got a comment. I really appreciate the list of the plants and shrubs that you're gonna be planting. Now, are they wetland plants,
Yes.
or upland?
No, they are wetland. They
They're
are,
wetland? Okay.
whatever he put in there is
Yeah,
planned by
they're-
him.
Yeah, they are plants that are definitely suitable for that, that lower inner buffer zone. It is, it's right off the pond. It's a little bit wet, so they can tolerate the wet conditions. And of course, they're all native, so we expect them to do very well in that area.
Thank you.
John, everything else okay too?
I have a question.
Okay.
Cameron, can you find out from the owner how they're going to manage the manure from the animal barn?
That's what you were.
Clean that one truck by
Uh,
now, right?
I'm gonna
If
use
Rodrigo
as-
would like to speak to that tonight, that's certainly something he could speak to, or we could get some additional information to the commission, but if Rodrigo would like to speak to that.
I have Edson on site. He goes daily to the barn and pick up the poop, put it in a bucket and bring to the compost pile in the back. 2 cows, maybe 5, 6 goats. Great fertilizer. We're doing it now. We have 7 goats.
I guess the reason for the question is that typically animals will generate quite a volume of waste product, and that particular area is pretty sensitive. And in writing up the order of conditions, I would make a suggestion to Tim that we include a condition that would prevent it from being stockpiled in that area, and it would have to be put elsewhere on the site. Is that going to be a problem?
He has an option of 6 acres directly behind his area. So he has plenty of area to
But-
compost.
And you have a composting area
Yes.
that you're already
Yeah,
using.
we use for our plants. But also, it's not gonna be like farming,
Yeah.
like, the animals are gonna be pets. So it's like, it's gonna be one of the cleanest animals in town. And we feed them by hand and like, I'm feeding them.
So it's not gonna be stockpiled at the
Season,
barn area
there's a
then?
lot-
Okay.
I bring my goats home in my car, so.
Okay.
So that would be one of the conditions.
Yeah.
You have no objections?
I'll settle
No
that.
objections to
Plenty
that,
of room in
that
the back.
Nope.
condition?
Okay, so, everything looks good to me. I'll entertain a motion. to accept the proposed, areas of conditions that they're doing on the land that they're doing.
I'll make that motion.
Second it?
And then special conditions that the farm animals, the area down there for the livestock, the manure will not be stockpiled there at any times whatsoever.
We'll include that on that motion I just made.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's good.
Before you close the hearing,
Yeah.
Yep.
there needs to be a discussion about the delineation fee.
Oh, okay.
So I'll turn it over to you, Cameron.
Yeah, sure, that's not a problem. I did speak with John about this delineation fee. We had filed the project. I'd have to go back to figure out what categories we actually called out, but we did not compute the category 6 fee, which called for $3 a linear foot of wetlands on site. Our interpretation of that fee would be for the ANRAD process, if we were to be seeking confirmation of wetland lines by the commission, which we're obviously not doing tonight. We're simply presenting the NOI with the proposed work. So it was our interpretation that fee would not be necessary in this situation.
Did you indicate how much it is?
We did, we calculated, we got John the numbers for the linear feet of wetland resource areas that are shown on the site plan. And when that was computed, times $3 per linear foot, I know the fee came out to $6,900. So that's what that would have been.
So, on behalf of your client, are you asking for a waiver of it?
I suppose if the commission typically requires that fee for an NOI, we'd be seeking a waiver, but again, as I mentioned, my interpretation is that fee would be something that would be utilized during an ANRAD process. Otherwise, I guess we would be seeking a waiver from that.
Has this been delineated at any time recently?
So it's never
So it
was the
needs-
first time.
How do we know where the line is?
Right, the line had not previously been certified, so therefore the delineation fee, we normally do charge it for any project that has to have it flagged in order for us to make a decision.
That's right.
Yeah, and if
I
it
mean,
was,
you, as a commission, have the right to waive it to whatever fee you so deem
What's our
necessary.
standard again?
$3,
What would it be?
$3.
It would be $6,900
Yeah.
for the amount of linear foot in this project. I mean, they are offering a considerable replication project along the pond that was previously used as an irrigation pond, which,
I would say, I mean, I don't know if you guys are in favor for it, but I could be in favor to cut it in half. Because it does need to be, it's the first time it's being delineated. It should be on, it's gonna be on record. We have to check.
Yeah, it has to be delineated.
Well, I don't mean to interrupt the commission, but I do believe that there was a project on the site. I don't have the exact date of it, but I do know that there was a Title V system approved. Actually, I have the on the plan, which I'll share with you right now. I don't know if this has anything to do with what your thoughts are on it, but anyways, there is a DEP file number that references an old notice of intent. So there was an old notice of intent on this property. ECR did not complete the delineation at that time. I don't know what the wetlands were shown on or if a fee was paid at that time. But just so the commission's aware, there certainly was, an old notice for work
This
on
is under
this
new
site.
ownership though, too.
I'm sorry?
This is under new ownership, and how long ago do you think that was?
Yes, I don't know how long ago it was, and it certainly wasn't under this ownership, I don't believe.
And things, I'm sure, have changed between then and now with the delineation
Yeah,
on what it looks like, so.
so, yeah, I mean, I'd be in favor of what you're saying too.
Well, yeah.
considering all the other things that are being done.
I mean, you are doing a lot of work.
Yeah.
Looks like I've been there, it does look good. And just keep us in the loop of what's going on.
So-
I mean,
So we would recommend half of that, half of the normal.
what do you think?
I was wondering, do we, every time somebody wants a notice of intent, do they have to pay for a
Yeah.
boundary line being drawn?
Yeah, the wetlands have to be.
So it's not a
managed.
time frame that if it was only, if
No,
it
it
done like
should
5
be.
years ago,
Well, yeah, I mean, but this is under new ownership too.
so that makes a difference, new
Yeah.
ownership, okay.
I think.
Well, it's also that depending on, and it's up to you, if you want to continue it, and so I can do some research, if the wetland line was delineated recently, then within, say, the last 3 years, it's not going
We
to
could
change.
use
But if it
that.
hasn't been, the statute generally runs out and they have to redelineate it
Okay.
again, even for an ANRAD. So
Well,
it's
either-
not a permanent one, it doesn't stay forever.
Okay.
So it's just a matter of whether it was.
So how did we know where the wetland line was?
Yeah, how do we know what we?
Right, well, they have to put it on the plan so we know. If it was a recent one for the septic repair,
Right,
then they could have already paid a delineation fee and know that it's a recent filing.
but on this plan, we see the wetland line.
Right, so they went out and had a botanist flag it, and so that's where the line is around the pond.
Okay,
They may not have had to have flagged the pond area for the septic system, depending on
they
how.
probably didn't.
Right,
yeah.
depending where it went to.
So
and
it
if they
has
were-
been flagged,
Right. It has currently been flagged for this project.
okay. So.
And again, don't mean to interrupt, it's a little tricky on the Zoom. Just to clarify, ECR, I personally did flag the wetlands back in February of 2022, so earlier this year, and all those wetland flags can be seen on the site plan. So it is a new delineation, it is recent, we did complete it, we're showing it on the plan. And I certainly respect what the commission's decision on this, and we can appreciate that you're considering some of the work that's being done. The state requires a fee for a wetland delineation when we file an ANRAD. There's a maximum for that of $2,000. This fee isn't typically collected by the state for a notice of intent. That falls under other categories. I can certainly understand that you guys require different fees under the bylaw, but just so, it's out there, that's how we typically, submit fees. But certainly respect the commission's decision on this matter.
If I might chime in, I think I heard Tim suggest that maybe you don't close the hearing on this, and he has a chance to research it. And I would like to remind the commission that you have 2 other new hearings tonight that have wetlands flagged, and one of them, I believe, paid the delineation fee, and the other one may be asking a similar question that Cameron is asking on behalf of his client. So you have to understand that a decision you make on this particular hearing, or at this particular hearing, would impact decisions that you would make for the next 2. So if you're considering waiving a portion of it or not, perhaps it'd be advisable to have Tim do some research, continue the hearing to the 18th, then you can make a decision at that time based on all of the facts and considerations that you make during the next 2 hearings that are right in a row.
I would agree with that. We tend not to change delineation fees. I mean, we've had some in here that are a lot of money, but that's what the bylaw says, so, I think I would go along with continuing, would you?
That's up to you guys.
Yeah, I would like to continue it so Tim can take a little bit more of a look at it. It'd be 2 weeks, and we could make a decision then.
Okay, so I'll make a motion, we'll continue the meeting till, what's the next one?
The 18th.
The 18th of October?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
That's deciding on the delineation fee, I guess. So,
Aye.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Yep.
Okay, well, we're happy to do some coordination with staff too to figure out what we need to do to resolve that, but if that's all we need to do, that's excellent, and we'll hopefully get it squared away in 2 weeks.
All right, I'll be in touch.
Cameron,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cameron, a very good presentation, by the way.
Oh, yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Commissioner. Have a good
We'll get the delineation thing figured out.
Perfect. Appreciate your help.
All right.
All right, the next one we have is 16 Hillside Ave, and I'll read that into the notice of the public hearing. Under the Wetlands Protection Act, Chapter 131, Section 40 MGL, as amended, and the West Bridgewater Wetlands Protection Bylaw and Rules and Regulations, Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on October 4th, 2022 at 6:30 PM in the McDonald Brown Conference Room, 65 North Main Street, on the request of determination of applicability at 16 Hillside Avenue for the repair and upgrade of a septic system with associated grading. Okay,
We have someone,
anybody on for that?
Peter,
Peter's here,
Okay.
and I do have the cards were emailed to me.
you do.
Okay.
All right.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me tonight?
Yep.
Yep,
Awesome. And is my screen up on display?
yes it is.
Yep.
All right. For the record, Peter Lyons with Collins Civil Engineering Group, representing the homeowner tonight for the repair of a failed septic system in the proximity to a bordering vegetated wetland line. Quick overview of the site. It's a skinny, longer lot, 62 feet wide, about 175 feet deep. In the back of the property, we have a bordering vegetated wetland line located as flags 1 through 8. The 50-foot buffer falls along the back tree line, pretty much paralleling the property line. And the 100-foot buffer is cutting through the middle of the proposed leaching field. With this site, not a lot of options as far as where to put the new system. We're contending with the driveway and utilities in the front yard and the existing plumbing coming out of the rear. So currently there's 2 existing pits in the backyard. We're looking to decommission, being pump and fill both of those, provide a new septic tank and a gravity-fed pipe and stone leaching system. We are almost able to keep all of the components outside of the 100-foot buffer. However, to maintain the required 10 feet from the back of the garage, we do encroach onto the 100-foot buffer just a little bit in the southern corner. The proposed leaching field is as close as 92 feet to flag number 7. The erosion control is shown as a gray dashed line, starting at the southern portion of the project and wrapping around the proposed work, ending at the garage. The leaching field, as well as the erosion control line, have been staked out in place prior to the meeting. We show a soil stockpiling area as well as a dewatering pit located within the limits of work, being that erosion control line. Overall, this is a pretty straightforward project. There's no grading changes, very minimal grading change proposed over the septic tank and the southern portion of the leaching field. This is all occurring in existing lawn area. We don't anticipate the removal of any trees or shrubs. Dewatering pit details and location, again, have been shown on the plan. Our erosion control detail is shown as an 8-inch straw wattle. A couple quick notes with numbers. Total lot disturbance will just over 3,000 square feet, and disturbance within the 100-foot buffer is 1,050 square feet. Again, a pretty straightforward project, and Obviously, just replacing a failed system is one benefit to the resource area, but we don't see any negative impacts from this project. So if the commission has any questions or concerns, I'd entertain them now.
So basically.
one
Oh, go ahead.
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
Peter, can you tell us who owns the rear property?
Offhand, no, I cannot. We have it shown as 0 West Street. I do not have an owner information readily available for that.
It's the field that goes with the farm.
Could it possibly be a farm field?
I honestly don't know.
Believe so.
I can speak to that, John. Yes, it is the farm field.
Would it be prudent for, the reason I mention it is that in case there's any votes on this, I'm not sure if the chairman has any obligation to, I feel that he may have an obligation to abstain from any voting on this.
Okay. Sounds fine.
There's still
All
a
right.
quorum, so that's,
Yep,
yeah.
still a quorum, yep.
Yep. So he could still run the meeting, he just can't, he's not gonna vote.
Yeah.
Right.
Again,
Just
I
make
just-
that public knowledge that,
Yeah. I just got a question. Obviously, the disturbed area that's the 100-foot, I mean, within the wetlands there, the 100-foot is disturbed now anyways. It's all just lawn and all that, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
question, the back property, does that have a fence along it, or is it just wooded? I couldn't tell.
It looks like the neighboring lots both have fences, but it doesn't appear to be one across the back of.
Okay, I couldn't
lot.
tell looking at it whether the detail had it or not, but, I mean, almost all of the 50-foot mark is off of their property. So, I mean, I don't know whether, being that the 50-foot line is almost all off their property, but who's putting wetland markers on it or not. I really,
Probably not.
it's
yeah.
not on, that was kind of my thought, that it really didn't. But otherwise, yeah, they're stuck. They can't put it somewhere else.
Yeah.
I don't have any questions.
It looks good. There's not much you're gonna do anyways. Do you know if the house is being sold? Or is it just because it's failed?
I'm not sure. I believe it's for sale, but I can't speak to that for sure.
Okay, sounds good.
I will say that the applicant has paid all fees.
So specifically, what are the fees that have been paid?
Well, they would pay the RDA fee, they would pay a wetland delineation fee, and an advertising fee for this project.
Thank you.
So did they delineate it? They delineated
Yeah, they
it.
flagged it, or had somebody delineate it, and then they
And we're
calculated. lineal
paid based on how many flags, so
Or
How
how,
many
no,
feet?
the distance.
The distance. how
The
many-
lineal
distance.
feet, $3 per
of what
foot,
they delineated.
of what they flagged.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the flag, it isn't a fee for flagging, that's an
No.
additional fee.
Right.
Okay, all right. All right, I'm all set.
All right, so,
Motion to close.
yeah,
Second.
Can you say it?
go ahead.
Well, it'd be all in favor except Lee can't vote, so.
Right,
Right.
so
So Lee
you got a
abstains.
motion, I'll make a
Right.
motion to close the hearing.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I'll make a motion. that-
Steve, you gotta say aye.
What did he say?
Yeah,
And-
Steve.
And we need a motion to issue a standard order of conditions on this?
A determination of applicability, negative number 3.
What is it?
Determination of applicability.
-3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For a determination of applicability, I'll make a motion that we issue that.
The -3.
-3. Yep.
-3.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And that'll take care of that, I believe.
All right,
All
thank you,
set.
Peter.
Right, thank you all. See ya.
All right, we'll get to the next one is 461 through 463 Matfield Street. Request of determination of applicability for the repair and upgrade of a septic system. I'll read that into the notice of the hearing. Under the Wetlands Protection Act, Chapter 131, Section 40 MGL as amended, and the West Bridgewater Wetlands Protection Bylaws and Rules and Regulations, the Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on October 4th, 2022 at 6:30 in the McDonald Brown Conference Room, 65 North Main Street, on a request of determination of applicability at 461 through 463 Matfield Street for the repair and upgrade of a septic system with associated grading. That's it. Okay.
We got Josh.
Hi there. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yep, we
All
can
right,
hear you.
perfect. For the record, Josh White from Jacobs Driscoll Engineering. And we have submitted this request for determination for Mary Seaver, who's the owner of this two-family located at 461 and 463 Matfield Street. So this project entails replacing two failed cesspools in the rear yard. There's two sheds located in the backyard. You can see the wetland line, which we have shown in blue, and then the 50-foot buffer in green, and the 100-foot buffer in orange. The proposed system is about 72.3 feet from the wetland line at its closest point. And we've got the proposed erosion control outside the 50-foot buffer. It's located in their backyard. You can see the tree line here, so it's all located within the existing lawn area. The backyard's fairly flat. It's like a 1.5 to 1.5% slope in the backyard. And then we do have, so we've got a new septic tank, pump chamber, and a new system here, which due to the high groundwater we have to raise up. So we do have a little bit of grading to do. We've got the proposed dewatering basin shown here. And yeah, so just to touch back to the first hearing tonight, where it was brought up about the delineation fee. So we did not pay that fee. We have not had to pay that fee for, I can't remember the last one we paid, for either an RDA or a septic repair. NOI in West Bridgewater, I can't remember the last one we did. But for this particular project, the homeowner is not selling the house. She's going to remain. She needs to replace her failed cesspools. And in order to do that, she had to submit this request for determination. We did the estimation of the fee. The line's about 226 feet long, so if it's another times 3, so that would be $678. If the commission requires us to pay that fee, we'll go to our client and explain that we attempted to ask for the waiver, but it's up to the commission to go for that. I know the first hearing got tabled, and the last one just before us, they paid it all. So to be consistent, kind of sounds like the commission's gonna require us to pay that fee, but just wanted to leave that up to commission and have a discussion about it. Other than that, that's basically the project. It's a fairly flat backyard, so yeah. Commission have any questions?
Josh, why have you never paid fees before?
Never had to do any,
That wetland delineation fee, I don't remember the last one we had to pay.
probably never. Is it flagged?
I will speak a little bit to this possibly. I do know the commission in the past has waived the fee if it's a homeowner staying in a house, has a
Yes.
failed system that has to get repaired
Yeah.
because of health and safety issues,
Mm-hmm.
which this looks like it's 2 cesspools with no leaching, no treatment at all. So there is justification for waiving a fee in this situation. I mean, there's no guarantee that the homeowner isn't in a year gonna sell the house, but their intent is not to sell the house.
That's right.
And
Yeah. And
different than one that has a Title V that has to get passed for sale of a house.
Has to be a hardship of
Right,
some
this
kind.
Yeah.
could be a hardship
But if the
case.
house was being sold, then
That's a different story.
it's a different story, yeah.
And I don't know how some of the other filings may or may not have gotten through. I do know we've had past staff, and that's how we caught this one, was that when,
I know that for myself in the past, that's the way we kind of handled it too, depending on the hardship of the homeowner and all that stuff, so that's how some don't.
So do we assume a hardship for the homeowner, or do we ask
Well,
if it's a hardship?
usually,
well, that's part of the discussion, and they do
Okay.
need to send it in writing requesting
Okay.
a waiver.
that's right,
Oh, okay.
that's right.
So if they want to send a request for a waiver,
You're not asking for a waiver tonight, right? You gotta maybe decide on whether or not the owner of the house has asked for the waiver, or is that the way?
Well, our intent with coming tonight is to either get this -3 determination approved, or if we need to file a notice of intent for this project, then we'll file a notice of intent. So if it comes down to asking a waiver for tonight, for that fee, then our answer would be yes, we're looking for that waiver tonight.
Okay, so,
So we still have to have a notice of intent filed.
no, you can do the RDA.
we're gonna approve it, then just
Right.
continue it till next meeting on
Yeah.
whether or not we wanna
Right, I mean,
waive
they're
the,
verbally making the request for the waiver.
Yeah,
You can
we
make a
can-
decision on that tonight, and then we can have a actual physical waiver in hand before we issue anything, if you want to grant that.
and wait till next
That's a
meeting.
discussion you need to have.
Okay, so how far is the, for the septic system, how far out of the ground do you think the mound's gonna be?
Let's see. Well, we don't have, let's see, hold on. Hold on one second,
Was
sorry.
it like 3 feet? Kinda looks like.
Couple
So
of
the
feet.
top of the system is 97.75, and existing grade is roughly,
Looks like the top of the system's 99.
roughly 96. So it's about another foot and a half above existing grade.
Okay, because it says 99 on the top, and then goes down to the grading out at 97, so you figure 2.5 feet, yeah. Okay, just wanted to know. Anybody else got anything?
With regard to the hardship, one of the conditions I'd be thinking of is the individual, an elderly person. Are they on a fixed income type of thing, or is it a young person, both people are working? To me, might not be a hardship as much as, you know, an elderly person on fixed. So, do we have any answers to who's filing it, Josh? Do you know the individual?
I haven't I'm not sure how old she is or anything like that, but I do know she's an older lady. I'm not
She is.
gonna put a number on the age or anything like
No,
that.
no, but
She,
I think that might answer the question.
So she's been in the house for a while, it sounds like, because it's
Yeah,
basically
and
tested.
As far as we know,
out.
she's got no intention of leaving. so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand that, yeah.
So I would be in
If
favor.
this was a younger couple, it would have been, if this was a younger couple, the house probably would have been,
A different
updated.
story.
no, it would have been updated with a septic system, unless it's a family moved into the house.
That's true.
Because if a younger family bought the house, and
They
the
would
septic
have to
system
be-
would have had been upgraded anyways.
That's right.
So
That's right.
this hasn't been upgraded at all for a long.
Right.
So-
Just because the person's old doesn't mean that they don't have money.
No, true, but, I mean, you gotta kind of
No, I know. It's really a sort of a
respect for the, you know, I mean, they've been there,
subjective call
for a while.
that we've done. We don't do it a lot, but
if you got, it's up to you though too, if you decide.
No, I thought we
yes
were
or
gonna
no.
talk about it next time. Are they gonna present us a waiver?
we can grant the waivers.
You can grant a full waiver, partial waiver, no
Or
waiver.
you mean tonight?
This
you
is
want-
all pretty
tonight?
much at your discretion. It's just past precedence has been set.
That's what we have to be cautious of, is precedent, so. I think in this case, where in the past, I think the precedent's there, we've waived it for elderly, people, so,
I
And if
think a
somebody's staying
person's,
in the house and they are doing a substantial upgrade,
yeah.
the wetland markers are on the plan to go in.
It's up to you if you want.
Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned that, but they are at the existing tree line.
well, it sounds like the work is fine.
Yep.
What we're really discussing is the waiver. It sounds like to me the applicant should apply for a waiver.
Okay. If you wanna continue it till next meeting, I mean,
What
can
will
we,
change? The letter, right?
Just the letter.
Continue it until we get the letter and the application for a waiver.
okay. John, you got anything?
No, I don't. I just wanted to mention the fact that there was that request coming before you, and that's been already discussed, so everything else looks good.
Okay, so,
Has this system totally failed,
yeah,
or is it still, is
Sounds
it
like
gonna
it.
start like in a week or something like that?
Yeah, Josh, are you up against the time frame to get this done, like in the next 2-3 weeks?
I'm not sure of the degree of the
Urgency,
failure,
yeah.
but I know they're looking to get it done sooner rather than later. That's
All right.
that's all I know.
We'll continue it to a couple weeks.
Well, so that, can they start? But if we say we're gonna continue it, they have to wait? Is that
well,
the
can
deal?
can we be okay with it? And then just put a condition on for,
You can,
how do we say
you
it?
can close and approve
Yeah.
with the condition that the application for waiver
Okay,
comes in.
okay,
Yeah, because we can. I mean, if the way it sounds, the commission's willing to grant the waiver once they get it in writing that we were requesting it. So we can we'll send it via email tomorrow, and
then we'll
if you want to
get
do
the
it
decision now. Okay,
I'm okay with
pending
that.
that's fine with us.
okay,
What, I do have a question.
Yep.
Though, if, let's say the waiver comes in and it really doesn't justify granting it,
Right.
you're too late because you've already closed the
Right.
hearing on it.
oh, okay, yeah,
Well, if it was an emergency septic repair, we would be doing after the fact filing anyways.
Yeah.
So waiting 2 weeks is not going to
Right,
change the situation.
right.
So
so we'll just
That
continue
might be
until,
I
cleaner
would,
to do it.
just like the
that way.
first one, I would move to continue for 2 weeks. Put it on
Okay.
the agenda
So
for the
just
18th.
close it and
And then make
continue.
sure we have an application
Everything.
for a waiver that actually meets what you want to see.
Okay.
I mean, on the waiver, do they have to say why they need to be?
Yeah, they have to make it just, so, a lot of times the applicant is either online or here in the past and has spoken to the
Yeah.
fact of why they wanted the waiver.
Oh, okay.
So, being that we still are doing hybrid and dealing with a lot of electronic information,
Mm.
they can still submit
Yeah.
a written
So,
request.
all right, so I'm close,
Continue
Just
I
to
mean, all
continue.
right, continue, we'll continue to next
to the 18th.
18th. And with the conditions of, no,
Just continue and then we'll close it on the 18th.
Okay,
if
all
it
right.
all makes.
So I'll make that motion.
Second.
Continue 2 weeks.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
All right, Josh, get that letter in and we'll get the commission.
Yeah, we'll get that into you guys, and thank you very much.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
thanks, Josh.
all right, so, continue public hearings. 35 United Drive.
They have asked to continue till the 18th as well.
Okay.
They still don't have a DEP number yet. It's
Okay.
part of the big holdup.
Okay, so we'll entertain a motion to continue 35 United Drive till the 18th of October.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next one is Lincoln Street and West Center Street, continued. General stormwater management permit, road improvement project.
And we
Still
have a
lingering.
presenter.
There's
Yes,
Rebecca.
you do. I'm Angela Saunders. I'm from McMahon. I'm covering for Stephanie.
Okay,
She was unable to make the meeting. I believe we submitted stuff like right before 5 PM today, revised plans and responses to comments. I can go over what has changed from the last time.
Sounds good.
have you had a chance to?
They came in after I actually left the office. John even emailed me and said that we really hadn't had a chance to review, but it
We can listen now.
looked like they addressed the swale
Okay,
and
And move the road.
all right.
Yes, we did address the swale. So we added a swale along the side here. To accommodate the swale, the infiltration basin got thinner and longer to still provide the adequate space needed to provide the treatment. Let's see, what else changed?
did you have to
Someone-
change the road layout at all?
Yeah, did you move the road over a little bit at all?
The road did not move. This road and this road did not move. They did add in the right turn lane.
Yep.
That might be for the last round, but, she didn't need to move the road at all. She was able to squeeze it all in by making it thinner and longer, so it's closer to this, what's going on over here at this
okay.
point.
All right.
We kept it on the
Angela,
side, yeah,
Can you show where the emergency overflow will be?
the emergency overflow is right here.
Is there detail of it, or is it just? It doesn't say that there. Is that?
It says modified rockville weir, which in essence is the emergency overflow. And the elevation is 78.45. Give me a minute. I'll let it. So this is what the overflow weir looks like. So we're going to use a curb to kind of make sure it stays in place versus just rock, because water can make it through the rocks and riprap.
Yep.
So the curb will, and with, it should be concrete around the bottom of the curb too, to kind of keep it from flowing through all of that. So that's what the detail of the weir looks like.
Looks good. All right, that answers my question.
Okay. Let's see, what else did we change? We maintain 5 feet from the property line. Town's access will be from the private development driveway. And then we modified some of the pipes, by eliminating one manhole and adjusted the pipes to be able to make them get into the system. If the pipes don't have a good cover, we're picking stronger pipes to be able to handle the lower cover. So instead of a class 3 RCP, I think we're doing class 5, and that matches standard MassDOT types of pipes. Are there any questions? I know you guys, and we did answer we did a response to comments. We have at least 2 foot of, cover over the high water table. And thinking what were the other comments we had? We revised our calculations to show that we did provide the 1-inch water quality volume. We have a 2.3 feet separation to the estimated seasonal high groundwater. And like I said, we didn't have to move the driveway at all. And the sediment floor bay is accessible from the private driveway. We provided 1 foot of freeboard, so we adjusted the drainage. We adjusted when we regraded it, we made sure we provided 1 foot of freeboard. We added some details for everything. And we added additional calculations as requested.
How about the draw?
I'm sorry, I did not hear you.
Address. I'm sorry. Did you address the drawdown? How quickly it would drain out of the questions by the consultant?
Yes, we did address that. We did some drawdown calculations, and I believe it shows it's less than 72 hours. I want to say it's around 40 hours. Yeah, somewhere around in there.
Good.
And those were provided with the submission that they made right before 5.
Looks good.
You comfortable with everything, or do you need some time to?
We should probably continue to the next meeting, just so John and I can actually read the report and actually
Since
see
you
it.
last time.
But otherwise, I think we're in the home stretch.
It looks good, yeah.
Good.
That's good to hear. I'll let everyone know.
Is there any other?
Was this the one with the invasive species?
No,
It
this is
wasn't?
the reconstruction of Lincoln Street. It's the
Okay,
project behind
okay,
this one that,
all right.
yep.
Yeah.
So we'll
All
continue
right, so, yeah, I'll continue till the next meeting, the 18th.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Okay, that was good, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Aye.
All right, the next one is off of West Street and off of Old West Street, the abbreviated notice of resource area delineation.
They have also asked to continue to the 18th. They
That was
believe
that
they're about
big-
ready to send in more information and actually start up again with that hearing.
That was a big
Yeah.
delineation, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't been continuing that for a while.
Yeah.
So, all right, so I'll continue that until the 18th of October.
I'll make the motion.
Second,
Entertain the motion. All in favor?
aye.
Okay, the next one is 586 Manley Street, DEP file. Notice of intent. How's that one?
Is this these violations?
Yes.
Yes, it
that's-
is, yeah.
All right, looks like we're headed into the home stretch on this.
Okay.
Is there anyone in for 586, or is that,
No, we don't have anybody
Continue.
in person here, so unless they're on Zoom, no.
It might be. No?
See anybody?
let me just check my,
Which one is 586?
all right, I just looked at the agenda, sorry for the delay. I feel that they had asked to continue it to tonight, but their planning board meeting is tomorrow night. So they probably aren't completely ready, so I would recommend continue it to the 18th if no one's there.
No. Yeah, there's nobody here, so, okay, I'll entertain a motion to continue 586 Manley Street to the 18th.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, that's that. Now we have, actually,
Yeah.
before we,
Get into the
that's the
other.
next, well, it's gonna be administrative. The next one is gonna be 100.
That's the discussion of whether the shed can stay where it was proposed.
Yes.
Or,
Yeah, I don't know if you saw it, I don't know if it was just.
I'll take a look, thanks.
So the shed is passing the wetland area, just a little bit. I was wondering to ask the commission if to leave it there, but we haven't finished. It's just the foundation.
So this is gonna be a permanent.
Yeah,
Is the foundation put in?
the foundation is there. We can take it. We can remove it. Cause John came by, he saw it. John saw it. John knows about it.
Yeah.
So he told us that. He told me to come in here and talk to you guys.
Yeah, I know how we're talking.
and this is
about
one of those that it's, a developer tore down, built a new house, had a order of conditions, certificate of compliance done, there were markers, there were conditions, sold it, the next person sold it, and they're inheriting a situation that they were unaware of, that the markers weren't there.
Yeah.
And we did some research, and yeah, so they came on site and the disturbance had already been done before they showed up. So what they were buying, they thought was bigger than what they could really use.
And what you have cleared, and what you cleared for that spot was what? Brush?
Well, my mom, I wasn't here.
Wasn't
I
tree,
was
oh,
in
yeah, tree, you
Florida.
had a tree, right? Didn't you say, did you have a tree you cut down?
Those some mulberry trees there, but we don't know if it was there or not. My mom said it wasn't there,
Okay.
but in the plan over here shows that they're supposed to be there.
Yeah.
See, that's the plan on record
Yeah.
for the house that went in.
For
but-
2011?
2011.
So 10 years ago, 12 years ago, they met the conditions and it was
Now
done.
it's-
But they aren't, again, the homeowners that are there, so
So what we should decide whether we leave it there, don't have it there, and leave it, put it back to the way it was supposed to be on the plan that was, we were
originally
okay.
proposed. Or do we modify the agreement and put a conservation John came up with an alternative, which is a
Yeah.
possible conservation easement that's actually recorded so that it's with the property here on out.
Yeah,
Allowing him to keep the shed, put the markers back in place, and then put an easement on it, so that it goes with the property and we don't have,
How about all around the shed?
well, that's,
That's restricted, right?
can I see the,
Yes.
Yeah.
so,
this was all bushes.
yeah, what it would be, basically, if you look at it,
That was all taken out.
right, the shed could go to
Wait a minute,
this side,
wait a minute.
but this is the back, this is the road,
Yeah.
so it would basically be a bump around here. And so this line would stay, and it'd be,
But where would the line go? It would stay?
so
No, no.
basically what you do is go to here, where the flags are.
Remove the line and just bump it around
Right.
the
You
shed.
just go out like this.
So we're actually
Right.
giving,
You're going to where the wetland flags are,
okay.
instead of the 50-foot no touch, which the
You'll be in
50-foot no touch from here would have been, basically you would have been right at the back of the house.
How did that happen?
Well, it was it's a tear down house and build a new one, so it was
Oh,
all
okay.
disturbed before.
Yeah.
Okay,
So it's
okay.
one of those kind of
All right.
deals that,
So now this red line is the.
that's, this, roughly where this red line is where the shed,
Yes,
is
correct.
where they wanna
And-
put the shed.
Is it there now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
it's on
foundation
the
is.
Google.
Right, the Google
satellite
Maps shows you where that
shows
shed
where
is.
Yeah.
the shed is.
What's this
So-
line?
If you put,
So the previous owner disturbed all
Right.
of this? Okay.
and so they thought they had that as a yard.
We've heard that before. huh?
Right. So now, and
To-
again,
to-
there was no restrictions recorded.
So
on
what
that
would
part of
the
property.
easement be like?
It would be,
They'd say we could leave it there.
Put around the markers around.
we would allow him to leave the shed where it is and have X amount of feet around it to maintain it.
Yeah.
But the rest of the property from their back would have to have the markers in place And there'd be a restriction on the deed as an easement stating that that is.
So you understand that
Yeah.
unfortunately you don't have,
Yeah, exactly, yeah, correct.
yeah, that's.
And the other thing
that's
I was
awful.
thinking, how big is that shed? It looks awfully big.
I think it's 24 by 12, some, I
Is
think
it just storage kind of thing?
yeah, it's like a garage, but it's not, maybe it's like,
So you're gonna park your car in there?
no, yeah, Mama has a lot of stuff from the old house, we have a lot of things, so we just want storage,
So I was thinking maybe even if you cut it back a little bit in size,
cut it back in size.
yeah.
The
Okay.
shed's already built, correct?
Not the whole thing,
No.
just the
Okay,
foundation.
Just the
okay, just the
foundation.
foundation, okay.
Yeah,
Would that be an issue?
to cut back in size.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, so just keeping,
Like say, how long is
so
it?
is it, so
Say-
can we, so can we move, so you're telling me we'll move it in here, like move it
Well, if you can move it ahead too a little bit.
ahead or closer to the house?
Well, how
Yeah, close-
much room do you have? You got right here is a house, right?
Yeah, correct.
And this is all just yard, right?
Yeah. We can move it there.
If you can move it in a little bit instead of cutting
Okay.
cutting the shed in half, but move it up basically. Move it in to basically, I'd say at least.
Well, the problem they're gonna run into
Yeah.
is the roof drain
Is there a drain
is
there?
right there. That's where
Okay.
the underground roof drain is for the
Ooh.
stormwater management. So they can't move it much further forward without,
Oh,
I mean, the only thing they
well, you
can
can move
do
it,
is go this way,
Yeah, move that.
right?
move it that way and up a little
They
bit.
have to,
Okay.
right, put it basically in this spot instead
Would
of.
that be
Okay.
more of an issue,
Yeah,
or?
that'll be great.
I mean, that'd be better than saying,
Yeah.
no, you don't, we don't want you to have it there at all, right?
So there's a fence here too?
Oh, there's no fence there.
No, it's just-
There was supposed to be, as part of the
fence, but
recorded order conditions,
Which is
which
right
it
here.
was,
So we're gonna put markers?
Oh, yeah.
right, I mean, I would assume you're gonna want markers back in place.
I mean, I don't know, it's up to you, and that's my opinion on what I would say, move it over and move it up a little bit, but you guys decide too.
Are you still gonna let him have it still within, past that line?
Yeah,
It'll be within that line, but it'll be more closer to the head, and not as much past that.
I guess
Past that
my,
line.
my own opinion would be
Well, I
just
know,
leave it, but.
my own opinion would be not to put it there at all. But it's in,
John, do you have anything you wanna add to this?
I think I sent you some of my comments, Tim, and I think I heard you mention most of them, so.
which is,
Yeah, so I mean,
it's a good, at least it'll be
we just gotta come up
recorded.
with a solution that works for everybody, and unfortunately,
Well, we're
They're
trying,
stuck.
he's looking for some relief
This is
because
the
he got
third owner,
stuck.
and so they weren't party to any of the restrictions that were on there before they bought the property.
But someone didn't, during the closing, no
We-
one.
right,
Well,
well,
they never
between the
did.
first and the third owner,
They just,
and
Yeah.
somebody's not gonna go back and look for a certificate of compliance that's already been signed off on and closed for. If there was an easement on it, then they would have probably
then they could,
red flagged it and said, you know, you do have an easement on the property.
Anything else.
for further on, if you guys decide to
Yeah,
sell the house later on down the road, the next owner would know that there's something there.
and we're doing that now, aren't we?
Right, right, this, one of the
Automatically.
things
We're trying to-
that-
We're
Yeah.
putting
Trying to get-
easements
yeah.
in, yeah.
Well,
I
in
mean,
situations like
personally, I'd say, let it go with the conditions we've discussed.
What's the foundation made out of?
it's just wood and it's we put cement.
Is it cinder blocks or cement?
Pillars?
Cement.
Oh,
It's like those, yeah.
So you poured it, yeah.
Are they sonotubes?
sonotubes.
No,
Is it a
Are
poured
they cement?
concrete foundation?
no. It's wood on top, but the
Is
bottom is concrete.
Cinder
And
blocks
with
in
the-
each corner, you
Yeah.
mean, something like that?
Yeah.
It's not
That's
poured
what-
down
yeah.
about 4 feet?
No, it's not poured down
Cinder
like
block,
that, no.
okay, so it is
No.
something that you can move?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay, so you can move it then?
Mm-hmm.
That would, so they're not stuck on not being able to move it?
No.
So they
but
can
the-
move
The
it.
backyard is, are we gonna encroach?
I mean, it's all cleared now.
Huh?
It's all cleared now, so are we gonna require them to, you gotta decide how much you wanna grant
That's
backwards.
Over and up? Like I said, that's my opinion on that.
What do you think
It
of the
doesn't- It
deciding?
doesn't sound like it would be that horrible a deal to move it, does it?
All depends. I mean, it's okay. We can do it. We can
Well,
do it.
Like I said, the other opinion is either not put there at all, too.
Well, or the,
So
or
you
the
will have
other,
something.
or the other option with the easement.
Right, I mean, it's coming up with a compromise, and if he can move it, and it's not, like you said, moving it over and up,
Over and up a little bit.
and so, I mean, are you
Or
looking at
over
giving?
and up
No,
here?
you can't because the roof drain is right there.
Oh, that's the
So-
roof drain.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
roof
they're
drain
gonna-
comes down, and I'm not,
Over a little
you'd have to
bit.
measure
How
up.
much of the, where's the edge of the backyard?
Right.
Here, Mo, if you look at this one,
Yeah.
it might help. Here, let me pull that out of it. So,
He's got a deck.
the deck, if you look, that white dashed line that he's got on that is this line right here.
Yeah. How far from here to here is it roughly, would you
See,
say?
it's gonna make it, he's gonna probably put it right about here. It's gonna be really close to the backyard. He's trying to leave,
Trying to leave some room.
some room to
there.
get, open it up and get into it, without having to go behind it into the wetlands to
Yeah.
get into it.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
No, that's fine.
so it's just a matter of how much you wanna give back here as a,
Doesn't look like you can go over much, because isn't it gonna interfere here when you bring it up,
right.
so. What's the length of it?
24. I think it's 24.
12 by 24?
Something. Yeah.
So
Roughly.
12 by 24, so
So-
what, bring it up
Or
3 or
just,
4 feet and that's it?
or cut back on it 3 or 4 feet instead of 12 by
12 by
24,
20?
12 by 20.
12 by 20.
I mean, I'd be okay with that too. That way you got plenty of room
So you're gonna
still,
lose, Mom will just have to get rid of some stuff.
but you'll still have your whole
Yeah.
backyard.
Yeah.
You'd still have the deck, so if you did it
So there's
12
no-
by 20 and had it in here 10 feet,
Yeah.
is what you're,
So it would be a problem just. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So-
just put it-
from,
Same footprint only.
right, so it'd be 12 by
Okay.
20 here, but we grant you
Okay.
a waiver to go in to that 50-foot area.
You've already done the foundation though,
Mhm.
so it's gonna be in the same spot, right? Or can you move it over?
I can't move it. Yeah, we have to just with the drill and everything with the wood and yeah.
Does that make sense?
I mean, it can be done, I mean, it's
Yeah, it
a
can't
little
be
bit of
done.
work.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of work.
'Cause you basically have the flooring down,
Yeah.
and the supports for it to set on
Yeah.
in place.
Just
So-
leave it where it is and just cut off 4 feet from the back.
Yeah, you could do that.
And just put the wall up, you don't have to do anything other than just take 4 feet off the back and you got the 20
But you
feet.
still got the floor in there.
But you can just cut that, yeah, you don't have to do anything but cut off that back part.
Could you remove 4 feet off the back end of it?
I don't. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, because it's like. Yeah, I don't think we just cut off 4 feet.
No, I know, but
Because the
nothing's
whole-
gonna be easy. Either way, it's gonna be a pain.
Right, I'm trying to think of how you could cut off the 4 feet, jack up what's there, move the
Yeah.
post in,
Because it's already grounded. And it's-
right, versus having to undo the whole thing and move it
Yeah, that's the
4 feet.
That's the. So I think we'll do that. I guess.
Okay. So you'd rather move it like
rather
that?
move it than I'd rather move it.
Okay.
I think we're trying to give you some relief because
Yeah.
of what happened at the closing.
Yeah, of course they never disclosed that.
I
Real
mean,
estate,
you
they don't
never
have
got the
to,
whole
so-
story. You thought you were getting
Mhm.
something you didn't get, which is sad.
And it's better than not getting anything at all,
Yeah,
So-
correct.
so.
Yeah.
So basically, you want to move it over, move it up 4 feet, and then we'll grant a waiver and do up an easement
Around it.
around the back.
Yeah.
And it's okay if we put a fence there, right? On the line.
Yeah,
Oh, sure.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, if
yeah,
you want, yeah,
Yep.
that'd make it a lot better.
Okay.
If you want to.
And put the markers, you gotta put the markers.
yeah, we'll get you the markers.
Okay.
Put in there.
All right, so, I guess it's just a discussion.
So John, a motion to grant work within the 50 and have him move the shed up, and then we'll create an easement for him to sign?
Yeah, I would say that would be the way to do it. We'll need a exhibit plan to
Okay.
refer a conservation easement to. So typically, it says that the conservation easement is shown on the exhibit plan. So we'll have to get an engineer to show an exhibit plan. And I had suggested PMP, who did the original plan, would be a good candidate to talk to. But I didn't want him spending that kind of money until he resolved it with the commission. So it sounds like if you were to vote that way, he could then go forward with having the conservation exhibit plan drawn up.
So I'll go to PMP to get that.
Yeah, I would call them, because I already have that plan that you have
Yes,
on
okay.
file. So for
Okay.
them to edit it, it's not a lot of work.
Okay.
They've already got the dimensions and the size and
Okay.
everything.
All right, so,
And if you explain to them that you want to have the shed added and have it moved over and up 4 feet, they'll put that all under the
Okay.
plan and they can,
Update the date, and
right, they'll,
Okay.
you'll get the easement on there. and all
shouldn't
that
be
stuff.
much to do
Okay.
that, yeah.
All right, so I'll entertain a motion for 586 to be able to work in the 50.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
And anything added to that? What's the waiver?
to work with,
Just
grant a
the
waiver to
50?
work with the 50
We did
and to
that,
come up
yeah.
with an exhibit plan for an easement.
And, okay, not separate out from that.
That's under one motion.
It's under one motion?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, good.
Okay.
All
right.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sometimes
I know.
what seems like a small thing, you know.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank
good
you.
luck.
Have a good night.
You
Dude.
too, thanks.
Okay, the next one is 252 Pleasant Street, a minor project change. And what's that one?
So we have anybody presenting that one?
Do you want to handle it?
I can, yeah, I mean, it's,
No, Larry sent me can you still hear me?
Yeah.
yep,
Okay. Larry Hargreaves, who was at the last meeting, sent me an email and said that he had to head down to Florida to Fort Myers to check out the damage.
Yeah.
And wouldn't be able to appear tonight. And basically what it is they have originally been approved for a one driveway entrance into a contract right next to Delisandro's site. And the owner of the property now wants to segregate heavy truck traffic going into the contractor's yard from the business office side of the building, so that they would have passenger cars going in at another entrance. And they got approved by the planning board, but it wasn't approved by us because he didn't ask for a modification. So I suggested he do the minor project change, which it really is just a culvert that they had to get designed by Silva Engineering. And so I'd recommend that you issue a minor project change on this, just for the driveway. Oh, and they rotated the building 90 degrees, didn't change the size or impact on any of the wetlands.
Oh, okay.
it didn't alter the stormwater manager or anything else, it just added another entrance with a culvert.
Okay.
So I'll entertain a motion for a minor project change on 252 Pleasant Street.
I'll make the motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, next one is Luke Drive, minor project change. What's up with that one?
This one is we had approved a pool, a rectangular pool for number 6 Loop Drive for Steve Courier. And he since now has got a design for more or less a kidney-shaped pool, and I asked him to include an apron around it, which he just had the pool, and I said every pool has an apron, so he added that and submitted it. And Tim, do you have anything more to add?
No, it was, like you explained, it was just a change in the size of the pool, and adding a little bit more apron and relocating where the shed was. It was all within the area that we'd already approved.
So was it a bigger pool or just a different size
Different
of the,
shape.
different shape that
Yeah.
made the pool, but
Because the pool shape changed, the apron had to change a
Okay.
little bit.
just
So-
not the size itself, it's just the
Right,
shape?
it's not the
Okay.
impervious surface or anything else really. It was,
And he's got a wall running around there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
All right, you all set? Cal?
Yeah.
All right, so I'll entertain a motion for a minor project change for 6 Loop Drive.
I'll make the motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Next one is 241 Forest Street.
I had contacted the contractor who had requested it, and apparently, somewhere back a couple of weeks ago, they got the surety return already, so I guess we already handled it, and just because of the logistics of trying to know what's going on in the office, before your new agent was hired, and me trying to operate out of Maine, I guess it just slipped through the
Oh, okay.
our process and did get signed, so it's all set. You don't have to do anything with it.
Okay, well, it's all set then. All right, the next one, 586 Manley Street. Should we do these? No,
those we
okay.
kind of did the update on waiting. I mean, it's the violations that,
That's the spill that was just
It's
here.
the same thing that we did last, wasn't it last?
right, that's the one that had the new contractor's
Yeah,
facility being put in and waiting for the closing so we can collect the violation and
Oh,
clear,
yeah, okay.
clear off the previous owner's bad deeds.
so it's
Yeah.
basically the same update then.
Yeah,
Just-
it's
Okay.
We're still moving along then?
still moving along till the next meeting and
All right, so
Okay.
just continue to the next meeting.
If I could just add
Yep.
something?
Yep,
I met with him today because Pratt's Landing ended up having the parking lot installed with
Oh, yeah.
some millings.
yep.
And there was some confusion as to who should supply the millings. And when I called the owner of 586 Manley Street, knowing full well that he had a large pile of millings, if he would donate some to the commission to be able to finish off the parking lot, and he agreed to that. And he says the commission has been very fair to him, so he wanted to acknowledge that by gladly donating the millings to the project. So I just say that to show that he understood he made a mistake. He understood he needs to make amends by paying the fine, and it will be straightened out with this new project that's going to take place on the whole site and correct any of the errors. But he still remains more or less apologetic and willing to be gracious like that today. So I just wanted to mention it.
That's good. Yeah, we're not doing anything, we're working with them too, like you said, which is good. And it was,
What's holding up the certificate of compliance?
oh,
Just because we're waiting for the conclusion of the land transaction.
the new owners,
The what?
for the new owners.
between the land transaction to the new ownership
Yeah.
and
And
the
the
sale,
fines
it's all
and-
gotta be orchestrated like
At the same time?
at the same time.
Okay.
So it's,
Okay, so we'll just continue that to next meeting then?
Yes.
yep,
Straight
Okay.
leave those on
Keep it
the,
on the,
All right, so I'll entertain a motion to continue 586 Manley Street to the 18th of October.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. All right, so now all you do is just have some
Documents?
documents to sign.
a couple of invoices.
Yep.
And then there's the handout notification, I don't know if everybody got it,
I
but
got it on the, yep.
the
I
employee
did not.
appreciation.
You didn't get it?
Oh, yeah, for the
Did you get it?
town.
So, yes.
Okay.
Raining.
And I know we still have a couple people viewing online.
Yeah.
Do they wish to speak to anything, or are they just watching us? I'll assume they're just watching.
Okay.
Tim, did we get any new filings?
We have 2 new hearings for next week. There's a commercial building and a septic system on the next meeting.
All right, so we have a holiday on Monday, so I think we gotta get that, public hearing out, the ads out tomorrow.
I already sent them out today.
Oh, wow.
I did it this morning. I already got a response from the
Do you want that?
enterprise.
Thank you.
Just
Great.
see it going.
By the way then, commission members,
Yep.
you seem like you're in good
Hamburgers and hot
hands.
dogs.
Yeah, I still got a little bit of learning on how to say everything, but I'm
We're,
sure
we're all
that
getting there.
we're all getting used to it, which is good.
What's that? The,
Learning how to do it
it takes a
with
little
the
while.
with the new agent and the new chairman.
Yeah, we're getting there.
So, I apologize if I do
No.
things
no,
a little different
okay.
than I should, but
You're
That's
doing
fine.
fine.
As long as we get the motions and
Yep, and get it recorded
the
correctly.
votes, we're all set.
Tim, I will be, stopping by, midday tomorrow, just for a short period while my, better half is getting, a doctor's appointment taken care of.
Okay, great.
So we can go over any minor things at that point.
and I think I might, if I get time, I might stop by later on because you guys are here till 7, right?
Yep, yep.
So if I get a little bit of time, I might stop by after work. If I can. So, all right, is that it?
Yep.
I don't see it. Okay, all right. Well, I guess I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Steve, and thanks, John.
Ben?
Yes, good night.